Clean-up underway following Taiwan earthquake, strengthening centuries of diplomatic bond and a need to enhance Malaysia-Indonesia borders security. Those are the headlines for tonight. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Muhammad Yusuf and this is TVS Nightline. We begin with our top story. World leaders and royalties, including Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullahi Ayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah and wife, are gathered in London to mourn Queen Elizabeth II amid scenes of matchless pageantry. King Charles and other senior British royals followed her flag-draped coffin into Westminster Abbey at the start of her state funeral, the country's first since 1965, when Winston Churchill was afforded the honour. The Queen's casket made the short journey from Westminster Hall, where she had been lying in state, pulled along on a gun carriage by 142 sailors with arms linked, a bell tolled and bagpipes skirled. Elizabeth's son, King Charles, and his three younger siblings, Anne, Andrew and Edward, made up the first line behind the gun carriage. Behind them came Charles's sons, Princes William and Harry, and other senior members of the royal family. Now, recovery and cleanup operations are underway after a 6.8 magnitude earthquake hit Taiwan on Sunday, September 18th. Excavators were deployed and sledgehammers were swung to clear rubbles of a collapsed convenience store where 4 people were trapped inside the night before, while 3 people whose vehicles fell off a damaged bridge were rescued and taken to hospital.
目前受损比较严重的是东里 段北端新秀姑兰溪桥跟客城2号桥啊，那这个像客城2号桥的这个第11桥，它的桥墩的这个避震块也有受损，那整个新秀姑兰溪桥的桥台也有做歪斜，那这个部分都要请相关的专业技师团队来做鉴定，结构上是不是安全？
The aftermath of the earthquake left 1 dead with 146 people injured, while damaging infrastructures in the city, derailing train carriages and collapsing buildings into unusable spaces. The earthquake also shook Taipei, where some took refuge in nearby schools.
教室用具啦都倒了，所以如果明天都还没有办法正常教学的话，可能采线上的教学的方式。
All right, Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, hopes to strengthen diplomatic bonds with China as they play an integral part in achieving a developed Sarawak by 2030. Current development projects were also catalyzed by technologies from China.
Actually, many infrastructure projects in Sarawak are now undertaken together with Chinese companies. Even our Batang Lupa, the longest bridge, we work together with the Chinese company.
Additionally, he hopes the ties between China and Malaysia will also result in economic development.
Our export to China from Sarawak, 18.633 billion ringgit. That is our export. This is mainly based on our commodity, including LNG.
In terms of imports, Abang Johari stated that Sarawak has spent over 8.4 million ringgit. He said this at the Association of Importer and Exporter Kuching China annual gathering on Sunday. Also present during the ceremony were Consul General of China in Kuching, Xing Weiping, the President of Importer and Exporter Association Kuching China, Datuk Yi Ming Tang, and the organizing chairman, Datuk Sim Kiang Chiok. Now, more engagements are required pertaining to the restoration of 35% of parliamentary seats for East Malaysia. Based on the current calculation of the 222 parliamentary seats, 166 or 75% are in the Peninsular Malaysia, while the remaining 25% are for Borneo State, with Sarawak 31 and Sabah 25, said Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Sabah and Sarawak Affairs, Datuk Seri Dr. Maximus Ongkili. Sabah Chief Minister Datuk Seri Hajiji Noor and the Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, have expressed agreement on the matter in principle and is hopeful for the support of parliamentary members of both states.
Berapa banyak itu belum lagi further study lah. But the idea is to return the 30-35% untuk membolehkan balance distribution of the seats and voices of Sabah and Sarawak in Parliament.
Adding further, he reiterated that any decision made should be in line with the vision of the formation of Malaysia.
It was not happened by chance that they got 35 at that time before Singapore existed. It was, I think, the desire, especially by Singapore, but the Malaya part must not have two-thirds. Otherwise, you don't need us to pass laws for the country.
He said so during a media conference after attending the 1963 Malaysia Agreement Awareness Forum MA63 with students from the University of Malaysia Sarawak UNIMAS in Kota Semarahan. Indonesia's capital transition will greatly benefit the two Bornean states, and thus matters pertaining to economic and security developments along the Malaysia-Indonesia borders must be dealt with urgency, such as developing better facilities and additional manpower to monitor the borders. Our Indonesian counterpart has taken action on border securities. Ongkili noted that several factors such as insufficient funds and the lack of manpower have slowed down the development of border security, and these issues, he said, will be highlighted to the Home Affairs Ministry for the matter to be addressed. Traffic along the borders will be one of the major concerns once Nusantara is in operation. Ongkili spoke during a visit to the Tabadu Customs, Immigration, Quarantine and Security CIQS checkpoint on September 19th. In a separate development, the lack of exposure on the history of the formation of Malaysia in the Curriculum Bersepadu Sekolah Menengah KBSM syllabus is among the issues raised by the Ministry of Education MOE. Thus, Datuk Seri Dr. Maximus Ongkili said in resolving this particular issue, it will allow the younger generation a better understanding of the formation of the country and the MA63.
Tadi kita tanya how many yang tahu MA 63, of course majority tak tahu because di dalam kelas, di dalam sekolah menengah memang hardly ada penubuhan Malaysia. Lebih dapat banyak lagi treatment untuk untuk hang tua, hang jabat, hang kasuri, ya. Tapi dari segi penubuhan Malaysia 57 cukup banyak tahun 57, tapi 63 almost like appendix soon.
He said so during a media conference after attending the 1963 Malaysia Agreement Awareness Forum MA63 with students from the University of Malaysia UNIMAS in Kota Semarahan. Adding further, Maximus said that a study on the matter is being conducted by the Sabah legal community regarding the subjects in MA63 that can be included in the syllabus. Meanwhile, the same discussion was also conducted with the educational community in Sarawak to research the essence that is the basis of MA63 in the syllabus regarding the perspective of the three regions that make up Malaysia. Additionally, he opined that the issue has been raised in the cabinet meeting and has already been agreed upon, with the discussion process with the MOE being carried out in the effort to include more syllabus related to the history of Malaysia's formation in the KBSM.
The Sarawak government will embark on the second phase of its artificial reef project under the 12th Malaysia Plan, which will focus on promoting marine conservation and tourism. Sarawak Forestry Corporation SFC will be tasked as the implementer of the project, and it is expected to start sometime next year once the fund is granted by the state government. Unlike the first phase, the second phase would take into account certain areas that had been identified for coral breeding, with positive impacts such as diving and sports fishing will become among its tourism attractions.
Dan fasa kedua akan kita laksanakan dalam rancangan Malaysia ke-12. Tahun barulah kita akan beri peruntukan untuk fasa kedua yang ada hubung kait dengan promotion tourism kita. Coral reef dan juga sport fishing. Sini sampailah ke dekat Miri. Sekarang ini banyak daripada Singapura yang datang ke Miri untuk sport fishing dan juga sini dagat air dia pergi angling. Sebab itu kita nampak di dagat air banyak dah boat yang kita sewa. Jadi orang kampung pun mendapat pendapatan yang bertambah. Dan dalam masa 2018 hingga ke 22 hari ini kesannya amat positif, di mana sumber nelayan perikanan bertambah, dan keduanya pendapatan nelayan kita pun bertambah sebab bertambahnya sumber ikan, dan kita mendapat maklum balas daripada nelayan kita bahawa apabila penangkapan ikan bertambah, maka sudah tentu ia memberi kesan dari sudut penghidupan nelayan.
He said so after symbolically deploying the 16,800th reef ball to mark the completion of the first phase of the project in the waters at Pulau Satang on Monday, September 19th. The implementation of the first phase, covering the areas from Tanjung Datu to Lawas, costed a sum of 70 million ringgit. University Malaysia Sarawak, or UNIMAS, remains committed in its stand to support the state government in its effort to stimulate economic growth post-pandemic through various sectors in the state. Its Vice-Chancellor, Professor Datuk Dr. Muhammad Khadim Suwaidi, said technology development is among the most important factor in economic recovery through the Post-COVID-19 Development Strategy PCDS 2030.
The effort by the state government, especially the Post-COVID Development Strategy 2030, there are lots of economic sectors being identified and being given priority by the state government. UNIMAS is very much in support of this, and then we are aligning our activities, especially research and also academic program, to support the effort by the state government in Post-COVID Development Strategy 2030.
He said so in his speech during the launching of the 10th International Borneo Business Conference IBBC 2022 in Kuching on Monday, September 19. Therefore, Khadim hopes that local and international experts will utilize the conference as a platform to share insights in the effort to restore the economy.
We are witnessing the slowing global growth, but successful diversification is essential in many developing countries. We hope that this conference will provide an excellent opportunity for researchers and academics to meet and exchange ideas, particularly about the issues, prospects, and challenges facing Borneo's economic and business.
For the record, the 10th organization of the International Borneo Business Conference IBBC 2022 will go on for 3 days from the 19th to the 21st of September. Hence, 63 working papers were successfully collected and will be presented by industry practitioners, local and international researchers from Indonesia, Cambodia, and Italy, with the theme Economic Diversity and Business Sustainability, Opportunities and Challenges. Among the participating universities were University Malaysia Sabah UMS, Universitas Tanjung Pura Indonesia, and American University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia AUPP.
Coming up right after the break, MAVCOM receives 1,251 complaints on the first half of 2022. And the U.S. released a Taliban prisoner from decades of detention in exchange for an engineer. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the Malaysian Aviation Commission, or MAVCOM, has received a total of 1,251 complaints throughout the first half of 2022, almost 8 times more than those that were lodged in 2021. Most of the complaints, according to MAVCOM's biannual consumer report, are related to airlines, consisting of 99.1% or 1,240 cases, while the remainder, 0.9%, consists of 11 complaints related to airport. Of the total 1,251 complaints, AirAsia received the most, consisting of 527 cases, followed by Malaysia Airlines with 509 cases and Batik Air with 99 cases. Complaints mainly consist of rescheduling and cancellations, as well as online booking, which collectively contributed to 46.1% or 577 of the total complaints filed. Additionally, MAVCOM stated that it also received over 1,300 non-actionable complaints, comprising of incomplete documentation and those related to an airline or airport fulfilling obligations under the Malaysia Aviation Consumer Protection Code MACPC. Meanwhile, MAVCOM's Executive Chairman Datuk Seri Saripudin Kasim revealed that the global air travel has seen a recovery in the first half of 2022. This was catalyzed by the reopening of more international borders, where many have traveled abroad in addition to improved domestic travel. Passenger traffic has significantly increased from a 2.9 million on average between January and April to 4.79 million on average between May and June. Therefore, it is essential for the country's aviation service to address complaints in order to improve service levels while identifying the main cause of similar and repeated complaints. So far, 87.9% or 1,100 of the complaints were resolved amicably by providing resolutions that are deemed equitable or satisfactory to consumers. Now, Health Minister cum Rembau Member of Parliament, Khairi Jamaluddin, on September 19th, has reiterated his stance as an UMNO member in response to the rumors that he is quitting the party. Instead, he stressed that he remains steadfast with UMNO and will remain with the party forever, no matter what.
Meanwhile, commenting on the video titled KJ Quits UMNO confirmed Khairi Jamaluddin's final decision, which was posted on YouTube on September 14, Khairi urged the public to not entertain such fake news. The video, since its postings, has been viewed over 57,000 times on YouTube. It claimed that Khairi decided to leave UMNO after he was told to give up his Rembau seat to UMNO Deputy President, Dato Sri Muhammad Hassan, who is also Barisan Nasional Deputy Chairman. Early this month, Khairi said he might not contest in the 15th general election if Muhammad decides to run in Rembau. Adding to that, Khairi said that he has faced all kinds of political persecution. However, he is still standing with UMNO.
This is TVS Nightline. Now onto some global updates. Japan was hit by Typhoon Nanmadol on Sunday, September 18th, which has not caused any fatalities but brings about heavy rainfall and strong winds to Kyushu and neighboring regions. According to Japan's meteorological agency JMA, up to 400 millimeters of rain is expected to pour in Tokai over the next 24 hours. It then issued high alerts of landslides, flooding, and overflowing rivers. Nanmadol is currently moving east as predicted by JMA after it passed through Kyushu earlier today. The typhoon is expected to travel through central Japan and will reach the sea by Tuesday morning. Now, after decades of time spent under detention by the United States, a senior Taliban figure, Bashir Noorzai, was released. This was part of a prisoner exchange deal between the U.S. and the Taliban, as the latter released engineer Mark Farrick in exchange for the Afghan tribal leader, who was held on drugs charges since 2005.
यो अमेरिकाई तबा मार्क پریری چې دا هم په افغانستان کې بندي وو او بیا له امریکایانو سره ډېر اوږده مذاکرات ورباندې وشو. نن سهار 10 بجې د کابل په هوایي ډګر کې هغه امریکایي تبع امریکایي هیئت ته وسپارل شو او موږ ویلی شو چې نننی اقدام او نننی لاسته راوړنه دا د امریکا د متحده ایالاتو او د افغانستان تر مابین د اړیکو یو نوی باب بللی شو.
Noorzai was also given the chance to speak during a news conference held after his arrival in his homeland. He expressed gratitude and hopes the exchange shall create a new path towards peace between the two countries.
ما تبادله زدا فکر کوم ان شاء الله دا به د افغانستان او د امریکایانو په مابین کې یو د سولې وسیله وګرځي.
Previously, the U.S. has been pushing for the release of Frerick, especially in August 2021 when the Taliban took over Afghanistan as the U.S. forces withdrew. Now tomorrow on Sejahtera Asia, the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Datuk Sri Nancy Shukri, will be giving you insights on the development of the tourism industry in Malaysia, including the growth and opportunities entrepreneurs can tap into in the state tourism. With hosts Juzak and Sharon at 7:45 a.m. only on TVS Astro Channel 122 and My Freeview. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally, just a click away, by heading on to our website at www.tvstv.my or by following us on our social media platforms. And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. Once again, I am Mohammad Yusuf. Thank you for watching and good night.